In today's video, I'm going to show you the simple, easiest way to read the most difficult putts imaginable that we all misread all the time. And guess what? When I show you this, you're just going to say, what? That doesn't make any sense at all, but it's going to work.
You tell me I look good.
Okay, this is the hardest putt, the downhill left to right putt. Now I'm gonna talk for the right-handed player, so if you're lefty, just reverse everything I say. Okay, but we all seem to underread the downhill left to righters. But there's a simple way to figure out how much it breaks and get it right pretty much every time. Now, this is just for your basic flat, up and down, slope, uphill, downhill. Now, if there's a mound or something, then this doesn't really apply. But for the basic flat greens, that's up, down, this is how you make sure you read that perfectly every time. So here's what happens. So right now I have the exact same putt from the opposite side of the hole. So it's the uphill version of that same putt. Now, this is the weird thing about this. The average player is able to read the uphill putt correctly like 85% of the time. Not that you make it that much, but typically the average player reads the uphill putt correctly most of the time. However, they read the exact same putt going downhill, they read it incorrectly 85% of the time. That's strange, right? Why would you read the exact same putt wrong going downhill versus uphill? It doesn't make any sense. But so here's how you read the downhill one correctly. So you're gonna come around to the other side of it and you're gonna read the uphill version of your exact same putt. So if you're on that side and you have a 10-footer, just come directly in line with that, the exact distance, and you're gonna read the uphill putt, okay? So when you're playing around, you just walk around, read it real fast, then go around the other side and apply this theory and stroke your putt. So I'm gonna read this first. And I'm just gonna put a tee where I wanna start the ball, right? That's about it. And I'm going to set up I'm gonna use my input to just help align myself perfectly so I start the ball perfectly on line, okay? And if you haven't seen my input review, I'll put a link right up here for you to check out, all right? And my man Jet, come here. So Jet's gonna help me set up, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna help me set up, all right, let's go. You got the string? So use whatever you have to kind of make sure that you're in line with exactly where you want to start the ball. So I'm going to start the ball at the tee, and if I read it correctly, it should break correctly into the hole. Watch. Okay, now we know exactly how much it breaks uphill. Now watch this. Here's the trick. Now we're back to our original downhill putt. Here's where the trick comes into play. What we want to do is we take our read from the uphill putt and we multiply it by 1.5. So we do not double, but 1.5 times that much. So this is about 2 putter faces. I'm gonna add 1 more putter face, so it's 3, right? If it was 2 foot, I would have 3-foot putt now. If it was a 4-foot putt, yeah, I would have 6 feet. I'm adding half of the length that it currently breaks, right? That's the math in it. That, in theory, should work most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. That way you're not gonna be underreading it all the time. So now I'm just gonna I'm gonna eyeball it with my putter, put my input down, line up, and see if the theory holds water, as they say. Remember, the uphill putt you're gonna read correctly more often than the downhill putt. So we wanna read that one first, and then just add half of that distance to your current read for the downhill version of it. and you're gonna be way better off. You're gonna make more putts. It might not always work perfectly, but you're gonna be in better shape, have a better chance than you did if you just read it incorrectly to begin with. That's a little trick. Hope you liked the video. Hope it helps your putting. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We'll see you in the next video.